Hello there. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League replay. Let's see if I can get this where it needs to be so you can actually see what's going on. I may have to raise this just a hair to fit everything. So hopefully that is a good spot to be right there. All right, it is game number 271, the season replay. Another game from May 22nd. And we're in Minnesota, the Homer Dome, Metrodome, whatever you want to call it. Detroit and Minnesota. Specs, very hitter friendly. Singles are 1 to 16 left, 13 righties. Home runs are 1 to 11 for Frank Viola on the mound for the Twins. He's 4-2. Jack Morris 5-3. Viola does have a very good hold rating of -5, so he will be able to not Detroit's necessarily run a lot, but if they try to, he's got that -5, whereas Jack Morris is a 0. Tiger, Sparky Anderson leading his lineups with right-handed hitters. So you've got Hernan at DH, Harper in right field, Coles at first. So that means on the bench you got Darrell Evans, you got Pat Sheridan, you got Dave Bergman, you got Matt Oakes, Johnny Grubb, all kinds of lefties on the bench because of the lefty Viola. Got our dice right here. Got the game up on the Strat computer. Hello, Bob. Good to see you. I'm trying to keep a schedule of, well, I really want to get to 9 and 9, but I've kind of been late here recently, so we're starting about 9:10, I think. But I would like to get on the schedule of 1987 at 9 a.m. and Demolition League at 9 p.m. That's kind of what my goal that I'm heading towards. Haven't quite reached it yet, but we're getting there. All right, on the season, Detroit is 20-18, Minnesota 19-20. So Frank Viola, let's bring up the Strat-O-Matic computer and get his full numbers. He's 4-2 with an ERA of 2.11. Very, very good pitching outing for Viola this season. He was 2.90 ERA in the real world, but he's a 2.11 ERA right now. 73 innings pitched, only 42 hits. Incredible numbers. 22 walks and 50 strikeouts. So one of the few lefties that are in the lineup for the Tigers, it'll be Lou Whitaker. And interestingly, the two lefties in the lineup, they're the first three batters, Whitaker and Gibson. So Sparky going with his stalwarts, he's not going to pull them out. So Whitaker on the replay hitting 257, 10 homers, 33 driven in. And we're underway from the Metrodome. So 110, that's a ground ball to short. Gagne is there, one away. And we are underway from the Metrodome. Here is Mike Heath, catcher. Heath is hitting 298 on the replay. He hit 281 real world. 2 homers, 10 driven in. 6'10" for Viola is a fly ball center field X. That's Kirby Puckett. He's a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. We're just checking the E6. And for an outfielder, or for a center fielder rather, E6, the only error chances are 3, 4, and 15. And we do not have that, so Puckett will make the catch. 2 down, as you might expect Puckett to do. So 2 away for Kirk Gibson. Gibson hitting 377 in 61 at-bats, 4 homers, 10 driven in. He hit 277 real world. 4-7, and that is a base on balls. First one issued by Viola. Gibson will take the trot to first. He could try to get the lead, but again, that -5 could be a deterrent because that would make it a -7 total. So it would be a 1 to 12 for Gibson if he wanted to try it. That's still 60%. So to get him to score, they're going to give it a go, 5 or a 6. Does not get the lead, so it doesn't matter. Here's Alan Trammell, cleanup hitter. He's hitting 422 on the replay in 109 at-bats, 9 homers and 24 runs driven in. So obviously off to a great start. He had 343 real world. 6'10", and that is a fly ball center field X again. Again, it's Kirby Puckett. And again, the only error chances are 3, 4, and 15. And that's not going to happen, so Puckett makes the catch and inning's over. Pretty safe when you hit it out to Puckett if you're the defense. He makes the catch, and there is 1 away. or 1 inning down the books for the Twins, I should say. So the Tigers will take the field, and the Twins will come to bat. Jack Morris, 5-3, 3.06 on the replay. He had 3.38 real world. 5 innings pitched, only 38 hits, so the walk-to-hit ratio is dramatic for both these pitchers. 17 walks, 54 strikeouts. Hello, Miss Kathy, and in case anybody's curious, yes, I do have the tools of the trade, the proper tools of the trade. Looks like this thing is kind of sketchy. Hopefully it picks up here. I don't know why I'm having problems with this. On my end, it's fine, but on my phone, I'm getting some kind of my internet's showing fine, so I don't know why it's a problem, but maybe it's that Xfinity junk again. I don't know, but hopefully, sometimes it just clears up on its own. Hopefully it will. All right, so here is Dan Gladden. The 4-4, and that's a ground ball third base X. That is the third baseman Brookins. He's a 3E21. 3E21. That's a 3 and a 5. That could be problems. 3 and a 5 is probably a problem. 3 and a 5 is, no, it's actually a G3. He does get to it. That's a 10. He's an E21. There aren't many errors on 10s. And that's the case here. 11 would be an error, but not a 10. So Brookins makes the play. And I don't know why it's giving me this fuzzies here, but hopefully that'll clear up soon. We can keep our fingers crossed and hope that. Here's Greg Gagne. Gagne on the replay hitting 322, 2 homers, 11 driven in. 5-10, and that's a ballpark single check, which is good for the Metrodome. It's 1-13, and that's a 6, so that will be a base hit for Gagne. 1 out single for Gagne. He's aboard. He could try to run, but with Puckett and Herbeck coming up, I think you want to stay put and let those guys do the damage. So Puckett hitting 314 on the replay, 7 homers, 21 driven in. He hit 332 real world. That's a 1-6 for Puckett, and there's a damage you were looking for. 1-13 is a double. That's a 20, so it'll be a single, but it is 2 stars. And Gagne will slide over to third base. Runners on the corners. It looks like maybe the stream has gotten a little bit better as far as the fuzzies and stuff go. Hopefully it's cleared up some now. We can hope, anyway. Always hope, as the saying goes. Always hope. All right, so Puckett is aboard. Now he can get a chance to steal or take the lead, a 4 through 6. But if he gets the lead, it's only a 1-13. You still have Herbeck and Gaetti coming up. So, boy, hate to run yourself out of an inning. So they're going to let him stay there. And Kent Herbeck is your batter. He's hitting 307, 10 homers, and 32 driven in on the replay. He had 295 real world. I'm sorry, 285 real world. Infield back for the double play. 3-7. And that's a walk, so it doesn't matter anyway. The bases are now loaded. As Jack Morris issues the free pass. Bases are loaded for Gary Gaetti. Gaetti is hitting only 229 on the replay. Hit 257 in real world. 8 homers, 32 driven in. Hello, Jeremiah. Infield still looking for that double play ball out of the inning. 6-8 for Morris, and that's another walk. He's going to bring home a run with a walk. So he walks in a run. Scoring is Gagne, and the Twins lead at 1-0. As Jack Morris can't find the strike zone right about now. Gene Larkin, the designated hitter, is up. Larkin on the replay is 0 for 3. He's a recent call-up, so he's only had 3 at-bats. He's 0 for 3. But on the season, he hit 266. That's a 2-8. And that's a single. There's an omega sign there for anti-clutch, but there are not 2 outs. There are only 2 out. There's only 1 out, so the single is good. Single to center by Larkin. That will score Puckett. Herbeck, who does not run well, is going to hold up, especially Lemon's -1 arm. So basically be a 1-11 chance. And the way they're hitting the ball, why run yourself out of an inning? So train keeps moving. 1 base down the track each time. It's 2-0 Twins. Still only 1 out, bases loaded for Tom Brunansky. He's hitting 284, 5 homers, 14 driven in the replay. And Morris has to compose himself and get out of this inning. That's a 6-4. Well, that's not a way to do it. 1-4 is a home run. That's a 10. That would have been a grand slam home run, but a 10 is a fly to left. It is a B, so it is a sacrifice fly by Brunansky. Herbeck will come in to score, making it 3-0 Twins here in the bottom of the first. But at least he avoided the grand salami. Here's Steve Lombardozzi. He's hitting 284. 2 homers, 13 driven in on the replay. Now there are 2 outs. Now the clutch situation comes into effect. 6-8, switch, right-handed hitter hitting right-handed. That's a walk. So that's going to be the 3rd walk issued by Morris. It's going to reload the bases. And now the 9th man to bat in the inning. Tim Laudner, the catcher, is up. Laudner is hitting 239 on the replay, 5 homers, 13 driven in. Do or die right here for Morris. He may not last long if he can't get Laudner. That's a 5-6, and he does get him with a strikeout. Huge strikeout there to limit the damage to 3 runs. It's still damage, though, particularly with the way Viola can pitch. Twins send 9 to the plate, but only 3 of them score. So in the bigger scheme of things, it could have been a lot worse, to say that. Top of the second we go. Viola will be facing Larry Herndon, the designated hitter, followed by Terry Harper and Chet Lemon. Herndon hitting 263, 2 homers and 6 driven in on the replay. 5-11. That's a ballpark blast. Herndon, of course, has normal power. It's a 1-11, and that's an 8. So Larry Herndon just went deep. Look at it again. 5-11. Ballpark blast. With that little diamond there. It's a ballpark blast. And the home runs are 1-11. That's an 8. So Larry Herndon will hit his 3rd home run of the season to put the Tigers on the board. Home run number 3 for Larry Herndon in his 58th at bat. 7 RBIs now. So 3-1, our new score. And that'll bring up Terry Harper. That's why Herndon's in there against those lefties. So Harper hitting 238 on the replay. No homers, 6 driven in. 1-8 against the left-hander, and that's why he's in there. Look at that, 1-12 for a home run, but that's an 18. It'll be a double. He'll settle for a double, but that's why they're both in there, because they do really well against left-handed pitching. If you play Strat Basic, you just don't capture that. Sorry. Strat Basic is good when you're learning, but once you learn the game, you really need to I'll just call it plain and simple. You need to grow up and play either advanced or super advanced. Strat Basic is a kid's game. All right, here is Chet Lemon. Hitting a $189, no homers, 7 driven in. 6-9, and that's going to be a fly to center, 1 away. Here's Darnell Coles, first baseman. He's hitting 202 on the replay. 4 homers, 18 driven in. He hit 181 real world. 210, and that's going to be a 1-6 home run chance, but that's a 10, so he flies to left for out number 2. So almost another home run. Viola avoids that, and here comes Tom Brookins, number 9 man in the lineup. He's hitting 258, 2 homers, 10 driven in. Hit 241 real world. 1-8, and that is a ground ball to short. Gagne has it to end the inning, so the only damage done was the home run from Herndon, but it does cut the lead to 3-1. I mean, if you like Strat Basic, go for it, but I just think once you get that system down and everything, you should escalate to the advanced or the super advanced. Particularly the advanced. You want to get those left-right splits in there. That's the big thing, because that matters. All right, so we go to the – I'm off my little speech on that now. But anyway, here's Dan Glatt. I know there's a bunch of people that they've been playing Strat Basic for like 30 years, and they're stick by it. And if that's what you want to do, go for it. but I do think you're missing out. That's all I'll say about it. All right, here's Dan Glad. 5-7 is a ground ball second base X. That's going to be Lou Whitaker, and he's a 2E20. 2 and a 16, he'll get to that. E20, and that's a 10. You don't get many errors on 10s. And in this case, that's not an error either. So Lou Whitaker will make the play on Gladden. Here is Greg Gagne. He singled to start the whole mess last inning. 2-8, and he's going to do it again. Single to left. 2 for 2 for Greg Gagne. Again, he's not going to go anywhere. He's going to let the big boys do their thing. So here's Puckett. 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. That's a chance of a balk on Morris. His balk rating is, over here. His balk rating is a 2. Wild pitch is an 18, but his balk is only a 2. Nope, not going to be a balk. I guess his balk wasn't worse than his bite. Here's Puckett. 5-8, and that's a strikeout for Morris, his second of the game. And that'll send us to Kent Herbeck. He walked his first time up. Gagne still at first with 2 outs. 1-11, and that's a ground ball to first, handled by Coles. He'll step on the bag, and that'll do it. So Morris gets through the second unscathed. We go to the third. It's still 3-1 favor of the Twins. And for the Tigers, it'll be the top of the order: Lou Whitaker, Mike Heath, and Kirk Gibson. Hello, Chuck. Good to see you. Your Tigers are struggling right now. In the first inning, Morris gave up 3 runs, gave up 3 hits and 3 walks. Herndon did come back and homer in the second, but 3-1 our score. Here's Whitaker, 6-7, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. That is going to be Gagne. He's a 2E24. 2 and an 8, he will get to that. 2 and an 8 is a G2. That's a 12, and he is an E24. So E24, there is no 12, so Gagne will make the play. And Whitaker is grounded to Gagne twice now. You were right. It's early. It's only been 2 innings, so a lot of baseball to be played here. Here's Heath, 5-8. Struck him out. Viola, that's his first strikeout of the game. He gets Heath. So 2 down for Kirk Gibson. Gibson walked his first trip. 5-6, lefty on lefty, and that is another strikeout. Strikeout number 2, and that's going to do it for the Tigers. Tigers need to win to keep pace with those Brewers, Blue Jays, and Yankees that are like a triumvirate at the top of the Eastern Division. Tigers need to win to keep pace. There's Gary Gaetti facing Mr. Morris. 6-7, right-handed. That is a 1-7 single. Anything else he lines to short, that the double die is a 2, so it's a base hit. Base hit for Mr. Gaetti. He can get a lead, but really he's not that big. You know, if he got the lead, it'd be a 1-13. Well, let's try it. 1-13 is still pretty good odds. So a 3 through 6, he gets the lead, but a 12, he's picked off. That's a 4, he gets the lead. So here we go. Gaetti, 15 being held makes him a 13. 0 for Morris. So 1-13, he will steal second base. And he does. So how about that? So maybe the second thought there of having him steal was a smart move. Of course, if D20 came up as a 17 or something, it would look like a silly move. But when it works, it makes you look smart, right? All right, so he's at second base now with nobody out for Gene Larkin. That's a 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. Now we're looking at the balk again on Morris, which is a 2, and there's no balk. Hey, Bob, good to see you. 4-5, switch hitter batting left. That's a fly to center, and that is 1 away as Morris retires Larkin. Here's Brunansky. Brunansky had a sacrifice fly his first time up. Whoa, we got a hopping dice. We're going to re-roll that. Morris, 3-6 to Brunansky, and that is a strikeout. That is strikeout number 3 for Morris. And it leaves it up to Steve Lombardozzi in a clutch situation. Lombardozzi in the clutch loses a couple of hits. 3-5 and 3-9 are turned into outs on the clutch chart. That's a 2-3, but it's a fly to right. That's going to end the inning. So Morris, after the single and stolen base, gets out of the mess. And at the end of 3, it's still 3-1. Nothing has changed since the second inning. We go to the top of the 4th. Trammell, Herndon, and Harper due up for the Tigers. Viola 4-11. That's a fly ball left field X. That is Gladden. He's a 2-5. 2-1. The double die strikes again. 2-1. Will be a double. 2-1 is a double. That's a 6, and he is an E5. That shouldn't be a problem. It's not, but it'll be a leadoff double for Alan Trammell, as he put it somewhere that Gladden couldn't get to it thanks to the double die. And he's aboard with nobody out for Larry Herndon. He is the tying run. He homered his first time up. He had 79% of his at-bats came against left-handed pitching, only 21% against right-handers. There's a reason for that. There's a baseball strategical reason for that. And I just think if you play basic, you miss that. 5-9, that is a strikeout. So Viola gets him. 1 away, and that brings up Harper. Harper doubled his first time up. Harper, 95% of his at-bats came against lefties. Only 5% came against righties. Again, Sparky did that for a reason. 3-6, left-handed, struck him out, but they're not doing so well right now against Viola. He is churning up the heat. 4th strikeout. And it's up to Chet Lemon. Lemon, conversely, only had 38% of his at-bats against lefties, 62% against righties. It is a clutch situation. In the clutch, he is completely neutral in the clutch against left-handers. It's a 5-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. That's Gagne again. Gagne is a 2E5. I'm sorry, he is a 2E24. 2-9, he should get to that. No problem. 2-9 is a G1, actually G2. That's an 11, and he is an E24. E24, there's no 11. So it's good play for Gagne. So after the leadoff double, Viola pitches around it, and we're still at a 3-1 score. Bottom of the 4th we go, and Tim Laudner, the catcher, will lead things off for the Twins. He struck out his first chance. Fatigue factor, not a problem for the starting pitchers in this game, unlike the Demolition League. Viola's a 7 and Morris is an 8, so they can go the distance if they need to. Here's Tim Laudner. 5-9, and that will be a split chance. 1-4 is a single. The 10, though, is a line out to Trammell. And there's 1 away. 1 down, and Dan Gladden. He is grounded out twice. 2-8, and this time he'll get that base hit. Dan Gladden with a 1-out single. And let's see here. 4 through 6, he gets the lead. Does not get the lead. Here's Greg Gagne. Gagne 2 for 2. 5-4. Not this time. He's going to strike out Morris. Strikeout number 4. 2 away. And it's all, excuse me, it's all up to Kirby Puckett. He is singled and struck out. That's a 1-4, and that's a ground ball to third. Boy, 1-5 would have been a home run, but 1-4, ground ball to third. So get it that close, you see that 1 number difference. But It makes all the difference in the world. We go to the 5th, still 3-1, favor the Twins. And leading things off will be Darnell Coles. He flew to left his first chance. That's a 5-5 right-handed ground ball to second, and Lombardozzi will handle it. Whoops, I put it in Herbeck's spot. Boy, that was a bad move. Put it in Herbeck's spot. But I have help. Got these new cheapo white correction tape. So I'm trying to remember exactly how it was used. I think you just do it this way. Or do you do it this way? I think you do it this way. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Amazon special. Got 6 of these for cheaper than 4 of them for the Bics. These are called, I don't know what they are. Look like LZR King or something. I don't know. I just searched Amazon and found them. So a lot cheaper. You get more of them. So I took a chance. They got good reviews, so I took a chance. All right. So anyway, Coles. Now I forgot what happened on that at bat. 5-5. Oh, it was a ground ball to second. I'd put it in the wrong slot. Maybe I need more coffee. That's what it is. I'll blame it on lack of coffee. So Coles grounds out. That'll bring up Brookins, first baseman. That's a 1-7 left-handed. Struck him out. Strikeout number 5 for Frank Viola. And flips the order to Lou Whitaker. Get a 6-9 for Whitaker. Left-handed. That is a pop-up to first. Herbeck is there. Easy 1-2-3 inning here in the 5th for Viola, as he continues to get the job done. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Still 3-1. It'll be Herbeck, Gaetti, and Larkin due up for the Twins. Herbeck, 0 for 1. Ground out in a walk. That's a 2-8 for Herbeck, and that's a solid single to left field. So Herbeck going the opposite way, leads off with the single. No real threat to run. Here's Gary Gaetti. That's a 1. Chance of a wild pitch on Morris, which is not good because he's got an 18 wild pitch rating. And he just uncorked a wild pitch. So that eliminates the double play and puts a runner in scoring position. Awful high wild pitch rating for Morris, but I'm assuming that's because he threw a lot of wild pitches in 1987. There's Gaetti. 2-10, and that is a fly to center. 1 away. And that brings us to Gene Larkin, first DH. He played first base yesterday. DH in this one. 6-7 against a lefty. That's a 1-5 double. That's a 2. Double die strikes again. A double from Gene Larkin. And the Twins go up 4-1. 6-7. A 1-5 is a double. Anything else he flies out, but the double die is a 2. Can't get away from the double die. I don't know what it is. Doesn't matter what color I use. Whether it's red, black, green, blue, whatever. Still comes up with these low numbers when you least expect it. Here's Brunansky. 5-7, and that is a ground ball second base X. That is going to be Whitaker. Whitaker is a 2E20. They were not holding the runner, so he keeps this 2E20. 2-0, and there's a double die with a 1 again. That's going to get through for a base hit. 2 stars. I'm sorry, no, it's a, let's see, he's a 2 and a 1. It's a single 1 star, my bad. 1 star, so let's see if the run scores on a possible error. If not, we got runners at the corners. That's a 16. He's an E20. E20, no 16. There's a 13, 18, and 17, but no 16. So no error on the play, but that double die sure did take away an out. And it's runners on the corners with 1 out for Steve Lombardozzi. Hello, Tribe fan. He had 24 wild pitches. Wow. I guess that's why he's got an 18 wild pitch rating. wonder if that was a symptom of him pitching to Matt Noakes a lot of the time, because Heath is a pretty good catcher, but Matt Noakes caught an awful lot too, and he was not known for his defense. Be curious. It's almost like the Charlie Huff thing with Slot getting the high pass ball rating, catching Charlie Huff all the time. All right, so here is Lombardozzi. Runners at the corners. Infield is going to play back for the double play. 6-5. Doesn't matter where they're playing. 1 to 7 is a triple. That's a 9. It'll be a single 2 stars, and that'll score the run to make it 5-0. I'm sorry, 5-1. Bernansky will motor to third. Now the Tiger bullpen's loosening, but Morris is supposed to be the best you have, so not sure who you're going to bring in that's better. Here's Laudner, infield again, looking for the double play ball to get out of the inning. 2-8, and he gets a strikeout instead. That is strikeout number 5 for Morris. Flips the order over to Gladden. He is 1 for 3. Runs on the corners, 2 outs, clutch situation. 3-10, and that is a ballpark single check. It's a 1 to 13, but that's a 17, so they got a break. Caught a big break. It will be a pop out to second base, and that will end the inning. But 2 runs come in for the Twins, and they lead it 5-1 now after 5 innings of play. Morris, obviously not his best day. But somebody's having a pretty good day is Viola. Just the one mistake pitch, the home run pitch to Herndon. That's been it. He's going to be facing Heath, Gibson, and Trammell for the Tigers. It's a 1-9, and that's a leadoff double for Mike Heath. Tigers have been there before. They had a leadoff double in the 4th, but it didn't amount to anything. Here's Kirk Gibson. 1 chance of a wild pitch on Viola. His wild pitch rating is only a 1. So there's no wild pitch. 5-7 against the lefty. Ground ball, second base X. He's not being held, so Lombardozzi will keep his 2 E18. 2-11. 2-11 is a G1, but with the ball to the right side, that means the runner's going to go to third. That's a 12, and he is an E18. E18, there's a 13, but no 12. So just a 4-3 ground out. It will advance Heath to third base with only 1 out. But when you're down by 4, you kind of need hits, not ground outs. Here's Alan Trammell. Infield is back for the Twins. They'll give up the out to get. Give up the run to get the out. 3-6, and that's a 1 to 18 single base hit for Trammell, and that brings home Heath to cut the lead to 5-2. As Alan Trammell gets an RBI, his 25th of the season, and now Trammell. Let's see, Viola that -5, and you're down 5-2. Boy, that's a tough gig to try to run on that. So I think they're going to hold him there. Here's Herndon. He did homer his first time up. 3-9. He's going to draw a base on balls. That's what the Tigers need. They need base runners. They need to keep the pressure on Viola. Brings up Terry Harper, right fielder. He is 1 for 2 with the double. 1 out, 1 in, 2 on. 6-8, and that's a fly to right field, 2 down. And now it's going to be all up to Mr. Chet Lemon, the veteran. See if he can come through for the Tigers. He is the tying run at the plate. 5-4, and that's a line out right to Gagne at short. That's going to end the inning. So the Tigers get 1, but that's all they get. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's still 5-2. It's now 5-2 Minnesota. Still firmly in control. Morris back out. Will face Gagne, Puckett, and Herbeck for the Twins. Morris 1-8 to Gagne. That is a 1-7 home run. 18 though will make it a double. So leadoff double for Greg Gagne. He's 3 for 4 in this game. 2 singles and now a double. That'll bring up. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't do the computer right. Let me back this out. I didn't put in the final out for the Tigers, so I need to do that. Chet Lemon line to short. Now we can flip it over and give Gagne his double. Here we go. All right, here's Puckett. He's 1 for 3. 210, and as a ballpark single check, 1-13, base hit. Homer Dome strikes again for base hits. Runners are at the corners, and now the bullpen for the Tigers is active. They do have left-hander Mark Thurman loosening in the pen, and they might be bringing him in right now to face Herbeck because they need to get out of this mess. So that's going to be it for Jack Morris. He's going to go 5+, but Sparky says, I can't take any more. Or as Elton John once sang, I can't go on with you like that. So Morris is out of here. And that'll bring on Mark Thurman, the lefty, as he's going to be facing lefty-righty switch. So they try to get out of this inning and keep the score where it is. So we'll go to the Strat computer and get the numbers on Thurman on the replay. Mark Thurman. He is 2-2 with 5 saves, but his ERA is 8.02. He had 4.23 real world, so I don't know what's going on with him on the replay, but he has not been effective. 21 innings pitched, 34 hits, 8 walks, and 7 strikeouts. So some ugly numbers there for Thurman. But they're going to see lefty-lefty against Herbeck, whether he can get through, get by it here. Infield is playing for the double play. That's a 3-8 for Herbeck. That's a fly ball right field B ? Gagne is a 17, so he's going to try to score. Harper is a -1 arm. So obviously with the B ? How that works is you got the speed of the runner, which is a 17. You add 2 to it, makes it a 19. Take away 1's an 18. So 1-18 he scores, 19-20 he's out. Simple as that. And he's in there. Sacrifice fly for Herbeck. That run is charged to Morris. And now, Twins lead at 6-2. 1 out, Puckett at first, and here is Gaetti. Hello, Canadian. Good to see you. Gaetti. Thurman, 2-6. That's a ground ball third base A, just what the doctor ordered. 5-4-3 double play to get him out of the rest of the inning. But 1 run is in. We can close the book on Morris now. He's going to give up 6 runs, all earned, in his outing. And he is definitely in danger of falling to 5-4 on the replay. Let's go to the Strat computer and get his full stats for this game, which weren't pretty, but they need to be logged in. 5 innings pitched, 5+ innings pitched, 12 hits, 6 runs, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts with Mark Thurman in the game now for the Tigers. So it's a 6-2 ball game as we go to the top of the 7th. And this is the fatigue inning for Frank Viola. So we need to keep an eye on that. But he doesn't look too fatigued right now, that's for sure. Viola will be facing Coles, Brookins, and Whitaker. 6 runs, 12 hits, no errors for the Twins. 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors for the Tigers so far. 6-6 left against a righty is a fly ball to left field. Not sure if that's showing up or if it's cutting off, but I'll bring it over a little bit more just to be on the safe side. 6-6 is a fly to left for Coles. So Coles flies out to the left fielder Gladden. 1 away. Check something and see exactly what's being shown here. All right, if we have Viola here, Yeah, you can still see it. For one more inning, I think you can still see that, and then I'll start moving it over after that. Here's Tom Brookins. 3-8 for Brookins, and he grounds it to short. Gagne is there, 2 down. And that'll send up Lou Whitaker, top of the order. He's 0 for 3. He hasn't got the ball out of the infield yet. 110, and he still doesn't. He grounds it to short. It's a bad day for Lou Whitaker against the lefty Viola. Whitaker not faring so well. So we're at the 7th inning stretch, actually. Now that I see that, Viola keeps full endurance because he just gave up nothing. So he will keep that full endurance going for him. Now the most important thing going on right now is I need to check my coffee. If it needs to be warmed, we'll do the 7th inning stretch. If it doesn't, then I'll keep playing. It's still warm enough, I can keep playing. So we will not have a 7th inning stretch break to warm coffee because the coffee's still reasonably warm. That'll bring up Gene Larkin to lead off for the Twins. That's a 6-6 for Thurman, and that is a solid single to center field for Gene Larkin. Gene Larkin singles. It seems like the Twins have had the leadoff man on almost every inning, except for the first. Second, no. Here's leadoff man is on. No. Leadoff man on here. Leadoff man on here. So this is the 4th inning out of 7 that the leadoff man has been on. Kind of dangerous to live that way as a pitcher. Here's Brunansky. Brunansky sacrifice fly and a single, 1 for 2. 5-8 against the right-hander is a base on balls by Thurman. 2 are on with nobody out for Lombardozzi. Thurman, that's a 1, so a chance of a wild pitch for Thurman. Got to go to the Strat computer to get his wild pitch rating, as the cards don't list it. His wild pitch rating is a 13. And it will be a wild pitch from Thurman. Second wild pitch of the game. Morris had 1. Now Thurman has 1. It takes away the double play, and it forces the infield to come in. Very important wild pitch. So the infield is now in. For Lombardozzi, 4-10. That's a fly ball to right field B, so it is a sacrifice fly for Lombardozzi. So the wild pitch directly attributed to that run. Otherwise, it's just a normal fly out to right field. But in this case, it is a sacrifice fly, and it will score the run. Brunansky stays at second, but now it's a 7-2 game, and here's Tim Laudner. .511, and that is a ballpark single check. 1-13, that's an 8. That's a base hit. Only 1 star, though. It's going to put runners at the corners. Mark Thurman now shows on the computer as tired. So with the righty coming up, Tigers will go to the bullpen. That'll be it for Thurman, as he will pitch 1 inning and a third, 1 1/3 innings for Thurman. He's going to give up 1. Interesting, he gave up both sacrifice flies. That's kind of interesting. Gave up 2 hits. So far, just the 1 run, but these 2 runs are his responsibility. 1 walk, no strikeouts. So the Tigers going to the pen in a 7-2 game. And we will see Mr. Nate Snell coming in for the Tigers. Nate Snell will get the call. We'll be facing Dan Gladden. And we'll bring in Snell on the computer and see what his season numbers look like. If I remember correctly, they aren't that good. And I was right. He's 0-2 with no saves and an 8.53 earned run average. He had a 3.96 real world, but he just had a bad replay. 19 innings pitched, 26 hits, 9 walks, and 9 strikeouts. Runners at the corners and 1 out for Gladden. The infield is in. They can't trust the double play from Gladden. That's a 4-4, and that's a catcher X. So Mike Heath, a 2E3, but you've got that pass ball, wild pitch chances lingering. That's an 18, though, so he might get away with that. 2 and an 18, I think, just becomes like a pop out or something, or maybe a ground out. 2 and an 18 is a G2. So it's a G2 with the infield. Well, the catcher, I assume, is soon to be in. That's a 9, and he's an E3. There is no 9 there. So we'll go to a G2. G2 on the chart with runners on the corners and the infield in. The play is on the batter. So they throw the batter out. Laudner will take second base. The only play is a 2-3 ground out. Runner on third holds. So 2-3 ground out, and then they get 1 out there to make it 2 outs in the inning. And that brings up Gagne, who is 3 for 4 on the game. Nice. Gagne's hitting 340 now on the replay. I don't know what's going on with him. He hit 265 real world, but he's hitting 340 on the replay. 1-9, and he's still doing it. 1-10 is a triple. Anything else is a double. So a double for Gagne. That's his 4th hit, his 2nd double. It's going to score Brunansky from third. Lauder does not run well. He runs at a 9. But with 2 outs, they might send him. He wasn't being held, makes him a 10. 2 outs makes it a 12. The double, of course, is assumed to go to center. So -1 there is an 11. 55% chance. Why not? You're playing with house money. And he's out. They'll call it 8-6-2. But the run scores to make 2 runs in the inning. And both those runs are charged to Thurman. Now we need to put this conglomerate into the computer. Oh, wait a minute. No. I take that back. I made a mistake. Good thing I got my correction tape. I forgot with the 2-3 ground out, Laudner went to second base, so he scores. He actually scores on this, so hold the phone. That was my bad. So we need to fix that. So he's going to actually score, is Laudner. I forgot all about that. He was on second base because of the ground out to the catcher. So it's a 2-run double, and the inning's still going. So I can't assume it's only going to be 3. It's at 3 runs right now, but it could be a lot. It could get worse. You never know. That's it for Thurman, though, because all the runners he had have scored, so he can't be charged with anything else. But he will give up 3 runs. It's now 9-2. And they're still batting. As Gagne doubles. Here's Puckett. 2 for 4. 4-3, and that's a ballpark single check, and that's going to be a base hit. Put runners on the corners. And I think this is Snell's game to just finish out, because with the score being what it is, Sparky doesn't want to tire out his entire bullpen in one game on a game that's hopelessly lost. So it might get even more ugly. Here's Herbeck. 3-7 for Herbeck. And that's a walk. That's going to load the bases. And now the 9th man to bat in the inning is Gary Gaetti. Gaetti hit to a double play his last time up. 1-6 for Gaetti. He would have done it again. It's a ground ball to shortstop A, but there were already 2 outs. So the 6-3 grounder is done. And they do stick to the 3 runs, but it's now 9-2 after 7. Here in the Metrodome, I thought this might be a good pitching matchup in a close game, but obviously the dice had other ideas. So we go to the top of the 8th. Viola, full endurance, and he's not sweating anything because he's got a 9-2 lead He's going to be facing Mike Heath. Hello, Jazz. Yeah, Tabby's not even here, so she's hello, R-Dub. Didn't see you sneak in there. All right, so here is Viola facing Heath. 6-7, and we'll bring it over a little closer so you can see it. 6-7 is a strikeout for Viola. In fact, I'll just go ahead and bring it over here. I guess at this point we might as well in the 8th inning. So Heath out on strikes. And for Viola, that is, let's see how many strikeouts. That's number 6 for Viola. His 6th strikeout. Here's Kirk Gibson. 3-7, and that's a base on balls. Gibson will draw the walk. Of course, down 9-2, you're not going anywhere. Here's Trammell. 6-10, and that's a fly center field X. Of course, that's Puckett. He's a 1. Oh, make sure it's not a fly ball A. So we'll roll the D20 anyway. 1-11. That's a rare play. Okay. We're going to invoke our rare play chart, beta version of the rare play chart. So we'll see what that 11 was. Is that probably an F3, I think. A 1 and 11 should be an F3. No, it's actually an F2. Okay. So we'll go to the rare play on the F2 chart. F2 chart, rare play. It says with runner on third and less than 2 out, runner attempts to score. Runner barrels into the catcher in a violent collision. Both runner and catcher are ejected for fighting. But that's not the situation. So in this case, it's just going to be a fly out. Or out number 2. So base running didn't dictate any kind of rare play situation there. But that's what would have happened had there been a guy on third. So here's Larry Herndon. 2-8 for Herndon, and he will single to left field, puts runners at first and second with 2 outs. Let's see here. I think I missed something on the computer, so let me go back and do that. I missed giving the walk to Gibson. So let's do that. Gibson walked, and then Trammell flew out. And now a base hit for Herndon. So first and second, 2 outs for Terry Harper. One 7 for Harper, and he grounds to short to end the inning. So Viola, 8 strong, no reason to take him out. Might as well let him finish what he started. He's not tired yet. Nate Snell back out as a sacrificial lamb to stay in the game and not burn the bullpen. He'll be facing Gene Larkin, Brunansky, and Lombardozzi. 9-2 Minnesota here in the bottom of the 8th. 1-8 for Larkin. He grounds to short. 1 away. And that brings up Tom Brunansky. Not to be confused with Tom Emansky, or who does the fielding videos with Fred McGriff. Here's Brunansky, 5-6, and that is a ground ball to third. 2 down. And that'll send up Lombardozzi. 1-4, and that's a base on balls. And that'll send up Laudner. Tell you what, when your number 9 hitter is having his 5th at bat, you know you've had a good game. It's the 45th plate appearance for the Twins in this game. 4-7, and that's a strikeout to end the inning, mercifully. So it's a 9-2 ball game as we go to the top of the 9th. Snell is done. We'll get the numbers on Snell. from the Strat-O-Matic computer, just so we can clean up that side of the house. Snell goes 1 2/3 innings. He will give up 2 hits, no runs, because the runs he gave up were charged to Thurman. 2 walks and a strikeout. So 14 hits on the, actually 16 hits on the board for the Tigers. I mean, for the Twins. They got 9 runs on 16 hits. That is solidly getting the job done. So we go to the top of the 9th. Viola. I was about ready to sneeze, so I wanted to hit the mute button there. Didn't want to sneeze on you guys. Did I misread something on Laudner? R-Dub, did I misread something on Laudner? Was that a roll of a 4-7 instead of a 5-7? If it is, I want to correct it. So let me know. I can go back and undo this and fix it. If that was the case, let me go back. Get Laudner back out here. If you're telling me that I rolled a 4-7 instead of a 5-7, okay. So if it was that, all right. Good thing I got my little correction tape. So once again, we go to Laudner. It was not a strikeout. It was a base hit. And that will move Gagne to second, Lombardozzi to second base. And here's Gladden. So we're going to continue. And I will fix this on the computer. Thank you for letting me know that. 2-7's a strikeout. That's going to end the inning. The only thing it'll do now is it'll change this to a 17. I mean, it's a blowout, but I still want to be accurate. So that means Snell will give up 3 hits and get no strikeouts. All right. So 9 runs and 17 hits. All right, so I'm going to go into the Strat computer and undo that last play of the strikeout so that I can fix it. So Laudner gets the single, and then it's Gladden that strikes out. Now we're set. Okay, thank you very much for that correction. Like I said, I want to be accurate. I don't care who wins, I just want to be accurate. All right, Gladden now strikes out to end the inning. So Viola coming out facing Lemon, Coles, and Brookins, bottom third of the Tiger order. And down 9-2. Sparky's not even going to worry about pinch hitting. He's just going to let them go as they are. 6-2 is a ground ball shortstop X. That is Gagne. He's a 2E24. Shouldn't have any problem, you wouldn't think. 2 and a 15, he'll get to that, and that's a 10. You're not going to get any errors on 10s on a shortstop E24 chance. So that's a good play. So Lemon is out for the first out, and here's Darnell Coles. Viola 2 outs away from a complete game victory. That would improve his record to 5-2. 1-5 for Coles. That's a split chance. You know, that's a 1. The double die comes up as a 1. He needed a 1 for a hit, and he got it. Boy, that double die just keeps coming and coming like the Energizer Bunny. Coles is on. Here is Brookins. That's a 2-7 for Brookins. That's a 1-5 single. The double die is a 4, so another base hit for Mr. Brookins. It's a 1 star, so only 1 run, only 1 base advancement. But it does flip the order over to Lou Whitaker, who's had a rough day. Viola is now tired, but they're going to try to get Viola to finish this game. He is tired, but they're going to try to finish the game with him. Alan Anderson, a lefty, is loosening the Twins bullpen just in case. Whitaker is 0 for 4, and he has not gotten the ball out of the infield yet. Can he do it a 5th time? Can he try to get something going in the 5th chance? 3-9. 1 for a single. Anything else, he lines to second, so he still didn't get the ball out of the infield. He's 0 for 5, and the ball never left the infield. I would say that's a rough outing for Lou Whitaker today. So 1 out away for Mike Heath. 1 chance for a wild pitch for Viola, but his wild pitch rating is only a 1. And there's no wild pitch there. 1-6, and he's going to round it to short, and there's your ball game. So Viola does get the complete game victory as he dominates the Tigers by the score of 9-2. So we'll go to the Strat-O-Matic computer and get the final numbers so I don't have to do the math myself. Viola, the complete game victory. He's going to go 9 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs. They were earned. Walked 3, struck out 6. So 9-17-0 for the Twins, 2-8-0 for the Tigers. Morris takes the loss. He drops to 5-4. Viola gets the winning, proves to 5-2. And the Twins pound out 17 hits in the ball game. Gagne 4 for 5. Really nice outing for him. So you can give the player of the game to Viola, or you can give it to Gagne. You got your choice. They both pitched or did very well for themselves. Twins are now 20-21, almost at that 500 mark. Tigers dropped to 20-19. So as you look at the updated standings to the minute, with this win, Minnesota improves to 20-21 and are now just 2 games behind the Oakland A's for first place. They're now in third place tie with Texas, 2 games back. Detroit suffers the loss. They dropped to 6.5 back of Milwaukee. So that was not a good loss for the Tigers. Not that they're ever good losses, but you're trying to catch those guys. You got to do something. So anyway, there you go. Game 271 is in the books. Thank you guys for the corrections when I messed up and got this thing to be accurate now, which is what we like. Tonight around 9 o'clock, the Demolition League. It'll be the 2024 Demolition League. It'll be the Dodgers against the Yankees from Yankee Stadium. Carlos Rodon for the Yankees against Yamamoto for the Dodgers. That game will be tonight roughly around 9 o'clock. Tomorrow morning, let's look at the schedule and see who's next up in this replay tomorrow morning. Which is the best game to choose from? It looks like it's going to be Cleveland and Milwaukee. It'll be Phil Niekro against Bill Wegman. That'll be the next game. Cleveland and Milwaukee tomorrow morning, roughly around 9 o'clock. Cleveland and Milwaukee, first place Brewers, looking to extend their slim lead over the Blue Jays and Yankees in the American League East. So that's going to do it from here. Thank you all for spending part of your Monday morning with me. Monday morning, I don't know why I'm thinking Wednesday morning with me. I haven't had enough coffee, obviously. But I do thank everybody for coming in and spending part of your day with me. Hope you enjoyed that presentation of Strat-O-Matic, super advanced, although it was not a close game. Viola did pitch a really good one, but Morris just didn't have it, and the Twins took advantage. So that's going to do it from here. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.